Valvoline instant oil change location.
Valvoline.
Valvoline? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. The oil change place here in town.
We are live.
Check, mic check.
We are here live.
Check.
On Netflix.
Mic 1 2 1 2. Check, mic.
Live on Netflix.
It smells like a microphone. I think we're good.
How's it going? How you been? How's it going? You look like a very cute bear.
Aww.
I think you're a very cute bear. I think it's really funny that I didn't take my sunglasses off.
Do you have your sunglasses and your glasses?
So I can.
Your glasses and your glasses?
Glasses.
Glasses.
I look like my mom. And she'd put these up here and be like, has anybody seen my glasses?
I can't find my sunglasses or my glasses.
Anywho's.
How have you been? I don't know how to answer that.
Other than asking me the same thing. I'm good. Felt cute. Might quit my job later.
Oh, there you go. I'm down for that.
I did have. Are you okay?
No.
Anyway, I did have a thing that I did want to talk to you about, though. Speaking of my job, that I thought was really funny because I thought about it.
Oh.
So, I had a dream that you convinced me to stay home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And while you were convincing me in my dream to stay home. Anyway, but you said something.
Let me show you how I got this ring.
You said something to me that like I didn't really think about until later when I was at work, like a couple days later.
I said something to you in the dream?
Yeah. No, you said something to me in the dream. Because I was like, I can't call off because like there's people off already, and I've already like had vacation because I like per normal I use my vacation for May. And I was like, it wouldn't be cool. And you're like, yeah, but it'll just make chaos. And that's fun for you. Which was part of Dream Cheryl convincing me because I was like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I like chaos.
Yeah. But then I was thinking about it later of like, I know yours and mine are different, but I was thinking about my need for chaos in a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And one, I was wondering, I kind of know the answer, but I was wondering if you have that on a day-to-day basis.
Well, yeah.
And where you think that comes from. Because it's not just
I'm worse than you.
It's not just a want for chaos. It's like
a tick.
Yeah, it's like a need.
Yeah.
Like a OCD.
Like a Tourette's tick.
Yeah, like a OCD.
Like you don't feel good about it unless you get it.
Yeah, like a OCD thing of like you need to do it to So I was gonna ask you if there's examples that you have.
Well, I feel like my chaos is a lot more micro chaos than your chaos. Like you like big blow up chaos. And I'm like, I want to annoy you. And then when I annoy you, I want to be like, how dare you be annoyed by me? That's my version of chaos. It's like, whoa, hey, ha, see. And you're like, okay, Cheryl. And I'm like, well, how dare you be annoyed by me? I thought you loved me.
That's you making sure that people actually love you.
Yeah.
That's you pushing for the validation that people love you. Is waiting for them to be like, yes, I still love you.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that, but
no, but I was like with mine, it's like I don't know, and I know it comes in waves. But also like I get to points where I'm like, no, fuck that. And then when I get to that point, it's as much destruction and chaos as possible as my brain can create. Like if we had the ability for me to quit my job like right now and like nothing happened, everything be said like that, I feel like the mindset I'm in right now, I would just create as much chaos at work as possible. Because like my brain is just like, well, it doesn't matter. So the rest of this is fun.
Well,
the rest
of this nice is to your just other coworkers.
It's not, but also my want and brain in chaotic mode of that doesn't care about people. It's just this will be fun.
It's not considering other people's feelings or how they're gonna be affected.
And so I was thinking about it, and I don't really have an answer, so there's not really an end to this statement. I was going to talk about it with you, but I wonder where that comes from, or if it's just a thing. If it's just like
it's probably just being comfortable.
if it's like a Maybelline thing, like
I think it's
born
just
with it.
Well, no, I think that's a nature versus nurture kind of thing. I think.
But I don't feel like either one of my parents had that though.
They don't have to have it. It was you grew up in chaos, so you find comfort in chaos.
That's fair.
You had 3 sisters and a brother.
That's sexist.
But
I only had chaos because I had sisters.
No, I just mean there were so many of you kids in one home.
Yeah.
And some of the kids were troubling. Mm. And so you were just surrounded in chaos all the time. Even if it's just chaos of having a bunch of children in one house, it's still chaos. And so you probably find comfort in chaos. And then you just kind of grew up with it. You're yep.
I think
you still find comfort in chaos.
I would say that's probably part of it. But like I've told you, chaos just switches my brain into a different place.
Yeah, but it's easier to work in too.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. My brain is more focused in times like that than it is normal. Even
because it's how you grew up.
I don't know, but I'm just saying even thought process wise.
The environment.
Right now, just normal talking, normal thoughts going through my head. Even that slows down and gets more focus in times like that. Zoom, zoom. Okay, so why is that for you?
Because I also grew up in chaos.
No, but I mean, why is yours different then? Wouldn't it be the same?
Because I was an only child chaos. So mine was all attention seeking.
So it is about getting attention.
Well, yeah, for me, yeah. It's attention seeking. What I do is definitely attention seeking behavior. Are you kidding me?
No, I just wanted
for sure.
I just wanted you to say that.
I have so many it sucks. It sucks being so aware too, because I am so attention seeking with my behaviors. Do you have your phone? Yeah.
I just don't have the time.
I'm so attention seeking with my behaviors that even sometimes I catch myself and I'm you're being aggressive, aggressively attention seeking right now.
Yeah. When most
because
times and I understand this is
aware of
this is why I said this. This is why I said this when she made this reference in the first place. Is because, especially with our relationship, you just as easily
love it.
You just as easily could look at me and be like, "I'm getting the attention right now."
Yeah.
And you would get just as much attention, but instead.
But I've never.
But instead, you go. Why are you so annoyed with me? And stuff like that.
But I've never gotten attention just by asking.
When you could just be like, "Hey, I really need attention," and I'd be like, "Okay."
But I've never gotten attention for asking. Also, that is your parents aren't that way, but mine is. My dad is that way. He is the one who's gonna poke you and prod you. He is the one that you're gonna sit by watching a scary movie and he's gonna be like, "Bah!" So I do get it from someone.
I know. I think that's the only reason why that annoys me specifically when you do that. And I understand where it comes from. But the only reason why it bothers me is because you can do that. Oh, that's my last one.
Okay, then no, that's what I'm asking.
Well, you can eat the other one. Because the other one's... It's like a normal Famous bowl. Just put hot sauce in it.
Love you.
I love you. Anyway, the only reason why...
Introducing Emma Rose.
The only reason... They can't even see her.
Doesn't matter.
It cuts off
right her.
Anyway, The only reason why it annoys me is because I know where it comes from, but still the fact that I know that our relationship wise, you could just ask me and it would be fine. But yet, whether you're conscious of it or not, you go through the point of annoying me
Because
to
it's not
frustration to get it.
because it's not
That's
the kind of
what
attention.
that's what bothers me about
Because I need that attention. That's the attention I need at that time.
it. Just be like, can you yell at me? I just need to be yelled
It's
at.
not
right now.
authentic. It's not authentic. I need to get upset with you. Can you please? I want to snap on you. Can you please?
That's what happens.
Be annoyed by me.
That's
please?
really what happens when you're in a healthy relationship. You just need to yell just because everything else is so good.
I'm just like, I don't know.
Ooh, good question. Did you do that?
Pushing buttons.
Well, I was gonna say, was it the same?
I just enjoy pushing buttons.
Was it the same general thought process when you were in a relationship where you were arguing?
What?
Like needing like that, not the annoying part, but like the needing like that some sort of friction, frustration.
No, there was already too much of it. I definitely didn't need it.
It was just a personality trait of like, I just like pushing buttons.
Wait, okay, but he was worse than me, so even in that one, it wasn't like it was okay. Here's the deal: when I'm pushing your buttons, you just take it, and then you kind of get annoyed, and then you kind of snap at me, and then I go, "What the fuck? I'm funny," and you go, "Yeah, you are funny, but you're annoying right now." And I'm like, "You're not supposed to find me annoying. You love me." But in that relationship, he was worse than I was. So if I started pushing buttons, he was pushing back. And he was like, "We're playing, haha, right?" And I'm like, "No." No, I'm supposed to play. You're supposed to do, I don't know, you're just supposed to love me. You're not supposed to fart in my face. What the fuck?
What I find funny about that part of you is that you do not accept it from anybody else.
No. Is
that like, if I were to do unprompted, I'm not saying at the same time. I'm not saying like you're in that headspace and then I do it, like kind of what you're talking. I'm talking about like if anybody else in your life did that to get attention or the need to get attention, you would get so annoyed so fast, would not play into it. Most of the time would just leave and be like, fine, you can fucking be like that all you want. But then like when you do it and it goes on 40 minutes and I go, fucking stop.
It's nothing.
Fucking stop. And you're like, hey, why are you yelling at me? Anyway, do you have anything you want to talk about?
I'll talk about your mom.
I have. What about my mom?
I don't know. Nothing.
We can talk about my mom.
She's a lovely lady.
I do. I know that we have talked about this before, but I kind of want to ask it in a different way. What are your... you're going to be sketchy about this answer too. Sorry. What are your thoughts on Father's Day?
What about?
On the idea of Father's Day. What it is to be a father.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, like, how do you feel about Father's Day in general? Like, that it's just a holiday and like whatever. Do you feel obligated to do something for Father's Day because it's an actual holiday? Do you... I don't know.
I feel fathers should have their day. I don't know what you mean by that. Like, I feel like just like anybody else, they deserve a day too. Why not?
Yes. But I mean, like... Sorry.
I'm not getting it.
No. Your person... Okay. Okay, I'll give an example. If you had somebody in your life that was a father, that was a super shitty dad, do you think that they still deserve or earned is a bad word? Do you think that it's still okay for them to expect something for Father's Day just because it's Father's Day.
Well, I don't know about expect something, but I'm not gonna exclude though.
Fatherhood in general. Do you think fatherhood is earned or is just given because you're dad?
Well, I think that's kind of unfair because it happens to mothers too.
I could say the same thing. Do you think that
I know, I'm just
you're
saying
a mom solely based on the fact that you
gave birth? No.
Yeah. So pulling that into fathers, do you think
No.
that being a father is earned or just given?
Well, okay. See, that's kind of I guess it's just the wording that's throwing me off because growing up, a father is someone who just birthed you. A dad is someone who was there and raised you. So, and that's probably because I come from a long line of women who didn't have dads and had fathers.
Yeah.
And so it was taught that a father is
No, I agree with that.
Is just someone who contributed to your
making
being of the person on planet. So I guess it's the way you're saying it that's kind of throwing me off because it's like, yeah, they're a father, but it's like, but they're not a dad.
Yeah.
Like they're not.
Well, my original going back.
And I know most people would be like, yeah, it's my bio dad, but it's not my dad.
Well, going back to my original question, I guess I didn't word it the way I was thinking of it. So, for example, let's say that somebody has a dad that was never there.
Yeah.
Do you think that they should still get them something for Father's Day continuously because it's a holiday of fathers, or if that would you say personally that that's a choice?
I think that's a choice. I think that's
you don't think that the person that
I don't think they're obligated to get their dad.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That the father should be like, well, you should give me something because
that just makes him even more shittier. You weren't there.
Well,
you weren't there, and now you're gonna tell me I have to get you something? Fuck off. But that would be even more of a reason not to get you anything. I'm just saying, but I think it's on the individual person whether they feel like it's something they should do or not.
So, and you can ask me things if they pop in your head. I
don't know. Are you obligated to get your dad anything for Father's Day?
I don't feel like I am. No, I say that all the time. I say that all the time.
You're like, there's 5 of us. Why do I have to?
No, it's
I'm
not
just
even.
Kidding.
No, it's not even. No, it's how it's. Well, when it comes to my dad, it's exactly how I feel about a lot of other things. Is that if I see something or feel like getting him something, then sure. But I personally, which is, I don't know, I guess kind of hypocritical for me given how I feel about my birthday, but I feel like getting somebody something because it's a certain day is ingenuine, in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I feel like me going and seeing my dad.
I don't know. I'm a gift giver, so I think it's just a reason for me to.
Well, I get that
because I think giving people gifts every day of the week or every other day of the week sometimes comes off a little strange. So that's why I'm like, as a gift giver, I'm like, any reason to give someone a gift, I'm going to take advantage of that.
I get that, but I'm saying like, I'm saying the whole idea of like, we don't. Not that this is the case with my parents at all, but the whole idea of like, we don't talk, we don't do anything, but it's Father's Day, so I'm going to get you something, like that seems ingenuine to me. It just seems like, well, yeah, we're obligated to do that.
Or an excuse to talk.
Fair. It's all perspective. Yeah. But I'm just saying, for me personally, no, I don't get anybody anything. Personally.
I just think for like.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would say specifically for like my situation, it's more like
also it's probably
the ADHD side of it, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. So any reason to bring it to get home. Wow, this whole thing is just like.
Also, it kind of sucks. It kind of. Are you okay? No. It kind of sucks, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, because my dad is
Okay.
my dad's really great. So it's not even like I really have a reason of being like, no, you don't get a present.
You're just an asshole.
I just no, I think because I didn't genuinely I remember having this thought when I was younger, when I didn't have the money, I didn't want to be inconsistent. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I didn't want to like get, and this goes for my siblings too, for not getting them anything for like Christmas or like their birthdays or whatever. I didn't want to be inconsistent. I didn't want to get you something some one year and then be like, sorry, I can't do it this year.
I don't know.
And so that's why, like, when it comes to especially gifts like outside of like us, it's very like, if I have the money, if I think about it, like I'll get you something. But like other than that,
I think because I grew up as a kid who did get gifts that were inconsistent, I think I would rather
just accepted.
Well, I would rather have inconsistent than nothing at all. Like, I still have a birthday card from my Uncle Rick, who I don't have. It's just the one. Just one. But it means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it may be inconsistent, but it was something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
So, what's your definition of what it is to be a father or a dad?
Well, like I said,
I know you said the definition, but like
just your bio dad,
but like as far as like, I don't know, traits or like things like you growing up without a dad that you look for. Again, I know we've talked about this before, but like the difference in father versus dad and what you would see like looking at people.
Well, I mean, as someone who's very like, I don't know, I'm pretty vocal about how I think men should step up to the plate.
Well, be vocal.
How they should be.
Well, be vocal.
Okay. Well, as someone who's very vocal about that, typically I see it all the time. Like, even when I'm out in public, I see the difference between a father and a dad. And just because you're there doesn't mean you're a dad still. Like, just because you live in the same house doesn't mean you're a dad. If you have to be asked to babysit your kids, you are not a dad. You are a father.
You're babysit.
That's bullshit. If I have to ask you to watch your child, you're not a dad.
Or you complain about having to watch your own kid for more than 10 minutes.
You're not a dad. You're not a dad. You're a father.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a dad. Even things like, okay, like at the swimming pool today, you saw a mom and a dad. Like, okay, me and you were there with Wyatt, and the two of us were like tag teaming Wyatt, like tag teaming, having to manage him, follow him, watch him. There was not one of us sitting there while the other one had to do all the work. It was a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, there was another couple there where the dad was just staring off into fucking nowhere the entire time, and I had to help his toddler get up out of the water, and the mom was managing the other two kids. And it's like, that's not a dad.
Yeah.
Like, you're just there. You're just a body. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, are you even, like, moral support at that point? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know these people. I don't know their relationship. I can't say for sure. Maybe he was just thinking about something. Maybe he was just on one. Maybe he was having a bad day or off day. I'm not going to blame him. I'm just saying I see little things like that, and I'm like, you know, because I'm so hypercritical of it because of my own experiences, though.
Well, and I said,
but I try not to judge people based off of these things. It's just things that I hear. I hear voices in my head. I hear, you know, when I see things like that.
Randy.
I know.
No, but I've said this too, and I mean, I will preface that by you don't really know what happens.
Yeah, you don't know people inside their own home.
But my biggest thing, and I wouldn't say that I'm like great at it from an outside perspective, but the one that bothers me is guys that go, well, I'm providing, so I'm doing I'm doing my job. Which, yes, in some capacity, yes.
Okay, but
I understand the weight as far as like guys have of like whether or not like your wife or girlfriend or significant other is out there working and contributing to the household. You as a man in general have a lot of weight of like I need to be the one to fulfill all these needs.
and I get
So
that,
I
but
get
you
that,
also
but
have
also
to be a dad to your kids.
well, that's what I'm saying. But also, I'm sorry, but that's not, in my opinion, that's not good enough.
No. And
You
just because
still-
you're contributing to the house, like just because you're contributing financially doesn't mean you're contributing to the house.
Yeah.
Like, I know people are going to argue with me on this because people do. But you have to understand that her job, okay, if she's a stay-at-home mom and you're contributing 100% of the income, right?
Mhm.
You're working what? 8 hours, 12 hours a day max? Because you can't go over 12 hours a day. Well, you can in some jobs, but most, like blue collar, you can't go over 12 hours a day, right? She is mom 24
Mhm.
hours a day.
Mhm.
She is mom, she is maid service, she is launder, she is cook, she is like 24 hours a day, not 12. The
Well,
entire day.
It's more of the and that's why that specifically bothers me in most men that I talk to, especially ones that have kids, is that most of those people use that as the excuse of like, well, I work all day.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to do dishes.
I don't
want
want
to
to
do
come home
laundry.
and take
I
care of the
don't want to
kid.
take care of the kid. Which I mean, fair from that side. Fair to feel that way. But also, what else do you want? You want your wife to make you food, or whatever. You want your significant other to keep things clean because you don't want a dirty house either. You want your significant other to watch the kid because you don't want to at that point. You want them to love on you in whatever way that is because you're not getting that fulfilled while you're at most times.
Yeah.
While you're at work. So you also have other needs that you want on top of not wanting to do those things.
Yeah.
So for you to think that it's their job or that they also don't need something from you on top of you just providing money.
Where's their break?
That's what I'm saying.
They've literally been doing this all day long without you there. And then you come home and they're expected to do more now that you're home. Mm-hmm. It's not like you come home and everybody gets to relax. You come home and now I have to cook dinner. I have to do your laundry so you can go to work the next day. I have to whatever, you know what I mean? Like you come home and my job, my all-day job just got worse. Mm-hmm. And you just think that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like not you, obviously.
Because you did your thing.
Because you went to work for 12 hours. But at your work, you got to talk to adults for 12 hours. Mm-hmm. At your work, you got to take a 30-minute break where you actually got to sit down quietly without children yelling at you and screaming at you and the dog pissing on the floor and whatever else. And eat your food, which is something mothers don't get to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I know it doesn't seem like that hard of a job, but it is. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's mentally tasking more than physically. Mm-hmm. And as someone who's done both, I would much rather the physical work. Mm-hmm. I am a physical person in general. I would much rather be slinging around fucking 200 pounds all day than have to take on the daunting and mentally tasking job of being a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. Like, that is fucking nuts. And like any man who's been a stay-at-home dad, like a legit stay-at-home dad, not like, oh, I just sat around with the kids and played with the kids all day and then mom came home and she cleaned the house, stay-at-home dad. I mean a legit stay-at-home dad who's doing all of the normal stay-at-home duties. Mm-hmm. They will fucking say the same thing, that job is way fucking harder than going to work and making money. Mm-hmm. Like, and then on the other half of it too, of, okay, you're the provider, like in our situation, like you're the provider, but I'm also going to work.
I had somebody made a statement when they were talking about this a long time ago that really stuck in my head, and I've said this to you before. My biggest pet peeve with the whole providing thing is, and I told my sister this too, is that then you need to do. We talked about this with like the traditional wife thing. Then you need to do everything else. Then, if you're expecting your significant other, male or female, to stay home, take care of the kids, like clean the house, all that stuff, then you need to do the other stuff that is required or not being done.
Yeah.
It's not just, well, I did my job, I went to work. No, then you need to make sure that bills never lapse. Then you need to make sure
But the
that
honeydews are done.
that the cars never shut down. You need to do all the stuff.
Yeah, you
that
need to
is
fix the
expected
doorknob.
of you then.
You know? And I know that's not our household. I like fixing things. So like something breaks down, it's like I want to do that.
Mhm.
But I don't want to do dishes.
Mhm.
So you know what I mean? But like
But even I've been telling people that, and I said that to you, like that was the same thing that I was just saying. Like even before you got a different job, like that was something me and you talked about. That's why I started doing dishes. That's why I don't like doing dishes either, but
yeah.
that's why I started doing them every weekend and like putting it in my head of like we are doing this on Saturdays and getting it done, because it's like how unfair is it, whether I have one day a week off or not, how unfair is it to be like, well, also, I know that like you've been doing this all week and taking care of the kids and doing all this, but like, can you get that done too? Because
Yeah.
like when I have the ability to do it. Now, if there was like a whole thing of dishes that would take me like half a day on my only day off, like yeah, I'd be like, hey.
But see, that's where
like, help.
compromise. That's where
Help.
compromise in communication is important. Because, like, yeah, I could take on all the traditional housewife roles or roles, and you can take on all the traditional husband roles, but then certain things aren't going to get done or get done right.
Yeah.
Because I am the fixer,
Mhm.
and I don't like doing dishes. So why wouldn't we compromise on that?
Yeah.
Our son runs to me with every fucking boo-boo he has, but I don't like doing laundry.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't we compromise on that?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, if you come home from work and you don't want to deal with the kid, okay, that's fine, but can you do the dishes today?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that's a bad compromise.
Well, and even that right there is part of what I was saying about guys complaining about why come home and I don't just get to sit.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
take the kid so she can finish doing the rest of her tasks.
Yeah. Or vice versa. If you don't want to come home and listen to your kid yell and everything, then do something else.
Yeah.
Other than like run away somewhere that's not around there.
And like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I've been like the mom for so long. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I've had you for a long time now. But there was a period of time where I was like a single parent, even though I had a second person there. I was a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's really not that hard just to take your kids. Like, if you
to the park.
if you don't want to deal with your children,
yeah,
take them to the McDonald's play place. It's an enclosed thing. You don't really have to like
be in there,
micromanage them. You know what I mean? You can literally sit down with your food, do what you were going to do at home.
Yeah.
Like, heaven forbid it's not your chair, but it's still a chair. You're still sitting. You're still eating. Like, how is that so hard? And like I said, maybe it's just because I've been the mom who's done everything. So it's like, if I need a break, McDonald's play place it is, because that's my break. You know what I mean? Like, taking my kids to grandma's, that's my break.
Where you automatically know where every play place is within a 5 mile.
Yeah, taking my kids to the park as they got older and could be at the park, like, without me hovering. That's my break, you know? Like, so I don't understand why if the mother, and this is like I said, this is the difference between a dad and a father, is if the mother is like, okay, I didn't get any of these things done today because the kids have been a lot, can you take care of them for a little bit so I can get these things done? and you're like, oh man, I just got off of work, I don't want to deal with this. Take them to the fucking play place.
Mhm.
Sit on your phone, veg out, eat your food, do whatever the fuck you want, and you look like the hero.
Mhm.
You didn't do shit. You drove a car.
So
Like,
I cut you off before, but going back to what you were starting to talk about before, as far as like traits that personally for you growing up, or things you see in other people, like the difference between a father and a dad,
yeah.
as far as like importance on upbringing, I think there's an equal amount but different things that are important for a boy growing up and a girl growing up as far as dads go.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's as simple as like, oh, that girl grew up without a dad, she has daddy issues. Like there are things that both genders need specifically from a dad.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what I was asking.
Well, your
you
dad,
personally,
as a girl, your dad is who is the guy you're going to be looking at to marry. Like, I mean, it's the way it is.
Mhm.
You grew up in this environment seeing how a man loves a woman. You're going to expect that from a man. And if the standards are really low in your household, your standards are going to be really low when you're looking for a husband. And we don't want that for our fucking daughters. We don't want their standards to be low. We want their standards to be high as fuck. We don't want them bringing no schmuck home. And then it's the same. It's basically the same thing for the boy. You are the role model for how your boy is going to treat his wife. And just like a mother, I'm the vision of what his wife is going to be, or what his wife is going to be like. So you don't want to be a bad parent. Like, you know what I mean? And this is why I'm so like, it's one thing to stay in a bad relationship, a toxic environment, an abusive partner when you don't have children. But when you have children, you are showing them that it is okay to stay.
Mhm.
You are showing your girls that it is okay to stay in that environment. That there are excuses on why they should stay in that environment. That there are reasons why they shouldn't just leave.
Mhm.
And that's bullshit.
My CDs are in their truck.
And just like a mom with boys, you are showing these boys it's okay to treat women this way because they're not going to leave you. It is okay to treat women like shit. It is okay to abuse your wives because they're not going to go anywhere. What are they going to do about it? And people, and I don't mean like, oh, all of your sons are going to turn out this way, but biologically, like we as humans, it's part of our DNA to conquer. And men specifically, it's like driven in them to conquer. And even small conquers, like conquering my wife or conquering my children. Like you are the leader of that pack. And to be the leader of a pack, you have to conquer the pack. You don't just get to walk into a pack and be like, I'm the leader, and they all listen. Like, you have to show that you are the leader.
I would say that I would say that is a big thing that most men, that you said it differently than I've heard it before, but that specific example is what fucks a lot of men in relationships, especially marriages, up. Is that they expect, because they're the guy in the relationship, that
everyone's just gonna bow to them.
That everything they say and everything they do is just, and everybody just needs to do it.
But are you alpha? And that's the difference. You're not alpha. You don't just get to. I'm a very alpha female. So then this is why in certain relationships with me, things go toxic. Is because you don't get to just walk into my home and be like, I'm the alpha. No. Like I would say in our home, you are the alpha. Why? Because you've showed me that you can step up to that plate. You have showed me that you can take care of this family.
You earned it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
You didn't just walk into our family and said, I'm the alpha now, deal with it.
Mhm.
You came in and showed me that you can protect my children. You came in and showed me you can protect me. And so I was able to relinquish that to you. And that's how humans are just animals. That's how it works. And as humans, we are pack animals. That's why we keep our families around us for so long. Any other animal, you don't see your babies ever again.
Mhm.
Like once your babies grow up,
Fucking birds
gone.
kick them.
You know
they
what I
don't
mean?
even they don't even let them fly. They're like, figure it out.
But pack animals like wolves, lions, humans, our family becomes part of our pack, or they become part of a neighboring pack,
Mhm.
or and it's just like us with marriage.
Mhm.
We become part of a different pack because we married that pack. We become, you know what I mean? Like I'm part of your pack because I married you. And it's like we kind of combined our packs, but if you put both of our packs in a room, there will be conflict.
Mhm.
So it's all animal
Well, but
behavior. It's nuts.
Yeah, but that's what.
Like,
But that's
and the
what.
way people like it's those beta men that have no alpha. They have
Beta.
they have no alpha qualities whatsoever. But mentally they seem to think that they are
That
alphas.
they are.
And so they just try to dominate every situation, every conversation they're in, and this is like this is going to be very stereotypical, but it's like your typical like mom's basement nerd dude
Mhm.
that does this.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really have the looks. He doesn't really have the smarts to hold a conversation.
Got a lot of facts though.
A lot of facts that are useless. He can't do anything. Like he can't work on a car. He can't work on your home. He can't, you know what I mean? Like
So I said
he can kill things on a computer.
I
Like
said-
you know what I mean? Like
I said this to you years ago, and I mean, luckily, given your personality, you don't really argue or try to explain things to people. You're just like, whatever, you can think the way that you want to.
I don't care.
But it was really funny to me, given what you just said about me. It was really funny to me when people would make fun of me for not being like manly at all.
Yeah.
Like,
but you don't have to
like
be
again,
manly to become
no,
the
but I'm
alpha.
saying like comparatively to like
Yeah.
people at work and stuff. And like you would always say you'd be like, I think he's more manly than most people.
Yeah.
In that way.
Because that toxic masculinity isn't what makes you manly. That's not what makes you alpha.
But I said this to my mom the other day, and this is kind of what I was trying to tell you in the kitchen when we were at Tiffany's.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like I joked with you about like I'm not allowed to cry because I don't get to. but I was trying to tell you this in the kitchen. I wasn't meaning it as like a guilt trip thing. I wasn't meaning it as like I don't even get to cry or whatever. I was meaning it in that way of like, and I told my mom this. I was like, luckily I have you to where like I can bounce that off of. I can feel things. I can, do things like that. But as far as like, there's a reason why if I were to cry in situations, it would fuck you and the girls up. Is because like that is my job.
Yeah, because
that is not only my job in this family, but my job in my family. Like my job is to keep my shit together. Is to let everybody else be able to feel things.
Which doesn't mean you're not allowed to cry. Yeah. It just means
that's what I was trying to tell you.
When you do cry, we understand the severity of the situation.
That is different, yeah. But that's what I was trying to tell you in the kitchen. It wasn't like a guilt trip. It was like I was saying I acknowledge and know that about me.
That's the difference between like me crying and you crying.
Yeah.
I cry every little fucking penny drop. So it's like, oh, okay, mom's just crying. But Zach cries, it really opens up the severity of the problem or the situation. It really shows everyone, okay, this is something we need to be worried about, or this is something that we need to take seriously. It's just like, okay, so I have a perfect example of like the first time I ever felt that as a child. And that was, my dad doesn't cry. My dad
Strongly avoids
almost
any emotion.
never cried when I was a kid. But on 9/11, my dad cried. And I cried. I didn't even understand the severity of what was happening or what was I seeing on TV.
You understood that it was that
but
bad.
I understood that it was bad enough to make my dad cry, who doesn't cry. And that was like, okay.
Especially your dad that doesn't really feel like, I don't know how this is going to sound, but doesn't really feel any like obligation towards America.
To other people?
No, America in general.
Well,
like, you know what I mean?
He does love his country.
No, I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like he's not a he's not a wear the flag dress shirt like type of person.
No.
But
he's also, not to get political, but I think that's more of American than the people who do wear the flag shirt.
I agree.
Because technically,
wearing
a flag shirt is a disgrace to the flag.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say, going back to that same point, that most people
the alpha
that act,
if you're aggressively
super American, it
doesn't show your patriotism. It just shows that you're.
But I would say,
anyways,
I mean,
go ahead.
Well, going back to my point, me and Emma have had this conversation many times in different ways over the years. But again, not that my dad was a bad dad by any means, but, he did miss things. He showed up.
Yeah.
But he did miss things. And I've had this conversation with Emma that's always been the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
Is that I don't want any of my kids to look back and be like, well,
Dad wasn't there.
Well, he wasn't even there. So it doesn't really matter. Well, this thing happened to me. Like the fact that, well, with Wyatt specifically, or with Wyatt separately from the girls, I got to see like all of his stuff, like his growing up, his learning things, his all that. But the fact that I've gotten all of the little stuff with the girls, I personally, genuinely appreciate that. Like, I got Emma's first heartbreak. I got Alice's. I got both the girls' first periods. I got like you know what I mean? Like, I got important things. And it wasn't like I got, especially those examples, I didn't get it secondhand. All of those examples I got because you were at work.
Because I was working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've gotten conversation. I just said this in the truck.
Well, you got Emma's broken arm.
Yeah. I got Emma's broken arm too. But I said this in the truck last night. I was like, I don't, and I understand, and we've talked about this before, and you've said it's because, we're gonna.
No, it's okay. I was just looking.
But we've said this before that, like, yes, it's because I'm different, and my mentality is different than most people. But I said this in the truck. I was like, I do not understand parents that don't want their kids around. I don't get it. I really don't. Like, there are times that, like, I'm annoyed. Like, when it's like there's a lot of people talking, or when Emma's being like super manic and pushy, and like, yes, I do get annoyed with that. But I said that in the truck. I was like, but if Emma moves out, I wouldn't mind if she stopped by and was like, so guess what happened? Like she does now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be annoyed. I'm not going to be like, can you fucking not?
You call her?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love that. I love the fact that the relationship that not only I have with the girls, but like we have with them. I like that. And so I just don't, going back to specifically what I was talking about, fathers like that, I don't get. I don't get going years without even like wondering what's going on with your kids. I don't understand like having the thought on birthdays of like, hey, I wonder what my kid is into this year. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand how somebody, and again, like I said, we've said it's because I'm different than a lot of fathers, but like that just doesn't click in my head. I just don't get it. Because like even when me and you have had conversations where I've been like, yeah, Alice likes this, and you're like, no, it's this. Like even that is like, oh shit. Like I should have known that. Like, you know what I mean?
But sometimes you do it to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, wait, what do they want to eat? And you'll be like, oh, Alice wants, or I'll be like, wait, I think Alice wants this. And you'll be like, no, she doesn't like that. And I'll be like, what? What do you mean?
Anyway.
And that always gets me. I'm like, but I'm her mom. What do you mean she doesn't like that? What are you talking about?
Anyway, going back to my original question, or my original statement, though, about deserving it. That's my personal opinion. That's how I feel about it. I understand the personal choice of being nice, of like, it's once a year, so I'll just like...
Well, also, they still did... I'm not saying, okay, don't take this wrong, because there are fathers out there who don't deserve shit, and you do not need to feel guilty for not giving them shit.
Yeah.
But they still did bring life to you.
Yeah.
Like, you still are a part of them.
On a very small scale, they still did something.
Even, and like, some situations are also a little difficult too, because, they could have been a really good dad for a certain amount of time. Or they could have been a really good dad later on. You know what I mean? So, like, I understand, like, forgiveness, or I understand, like, just being understanding of the situation.
Yeah.
So, like, it's all very, like, up to you. That's, as the child, it's up to you. But also, can I just say something? Because I've been hearing something on Mother's Day and a little bit on Father's Day this year of, like, these spouses saying, well, they're not my dad. Well, they're not my mom. Okay, if you have kids with that person, that day is your responsibility as a spouse.
Okay, to your point,
that's shit.
Going back to your point that you said about what it looks like to be a dad to your kids, that also
reflects
same respect. That if you're showing your kid, well, your mom's not my mom, so why does she deserve anything? They're not going to do that for any woman in their life either, because they're going to be like, well, my dad.
Or their mom.
Or your mom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or your mom.
Like, I'm sorry, but you made me a mother.
No.
You had a hand in making me a mom. I'm just saying, though, like, you had a hand in making me a mom. Why wouldn't you want to celebrate that?
No.
I had a hand in making you a father. Why wouldn't I want to celebrate that? That makes no fucking sense to me. That whole, well, she's not my mom or he's not my dad makes zero fucking sense to me.
Well, also, I guess it...
do you give Mother's Day presents to your grandmother?
Well, no, I guess
so what's the difference? She didn't make you... She's not your mom.
But I guess it's just the appreciation aspect of it. If it was appreciate a parent day, I don't think there would be... You know what I mean? I think it's specifically that it's mother. I
think toxic men would still find a way to be like, well, she's not my parent.
No, but I'm saying, like, that was the thought process that I always had with you, is that I appreciate you being a mom.
Yeah.
So that's
toxic
why
behavior.
I would appreciate you on Mother's Day, because I appreciate the fact that you are a mom. You know what I mean?
100%. Anyone who says that on Mother's Day or Father's Day is toxic. That is 100% toxic behavior. And that is a huge red flag.
Anyway, my personal opinion. What I was saying before.
I don't know if he agrees now.
My personal opinion, I think if you're going to expect, just as an objective thing, if you as a father or dad or whatever you want to call yourself are going to get upset or expect a Father's Day gift because of that, then I think you need to also earn it. I think expecting a Father's Day gift just because you helped make a person is incredibly selfish if you're not putting forth the effort to be that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't expect
Like, if
things you don't deserve.
Well, like, if I'm cheating on you, if I'm never here,
Yeah.
if I'm not contributing, why do I have the right to be upset that I don't get an anniversary gift? You know what I mean?
But on the same token, on a easier thing to understand or follow for toxic behavior people, if you are really bad at your job and don't do your amount of the work,
You don't get
or
paid.
show up on time, or show up ever, why do you deserve the bonus?
Yeah.
You don't.
Oh, good call. You're right. That is better.
Yep.
Anyway, be better. That's my point.
Or the raise, whatever.
Be better.
Yeah. Be better.
Also, like I told you, it's saddening to me that I feel like, on a side note, yeah, I feel like I used to think, because you used to say that, like, there has to be more people like me out there. That there has to be. That it can't just be.
Does.
It
There
can't
has
just be.
to be more
No,
people
no, no, no.
out
I know. I'm not saying there's not, but I'm saying, like I told you before, the more and more I talk to people, and the more guys specifically that I've talked to about things, the more I feel like people like me are. There's a smaller percentage.
It's smaller and smaller window every person you talk to.
It's smaller than I thought it was. Because, like, for me, I would like to think that I'm the only person like me. That would be great.
Whereas every woman in the
would
world
like-
is like, no, you're a unicorn.
I would love to think that I'm the only person, like the only guy on the planet that's like this. That'd be great. That'd be good for me, because I can be like, it's just me. But, like, I always thought, I was like, no, it can't just be me. Like, statistically, there's no way that I'm the only person.
Yeah.
But then but my scope of how many people has gotten smaller, where it's not just me, just the percentage of people, of guys like me.
Also
seems
remember
smaller.
that sometimes people seem
Seems
not
small.
to be as good because of the situation they're in.
Also, I wasn't always good either.
Exactly, because you were in a situation that didn't allow you to be the good guy you are now.
So it's also circumstantial.
It is.
It's just
I was also very toxic before.
it's just over time. I was telling you that the other day. It's just over time.
I'm a petty ass bitch.
My thought,
if you're toxic to me, I am going to be toxic back.
My thought of, no, it's got to be more than this, has dwindled down to, like, the 1% of 1%. Anyway. Yeah. Back to being better. Be better. Your kids deserve better, and your wives deserve better.
Yeah.
You should be, as a dad, willing to give as much as you can to your kids. It's not about how tired you are. It's about what you can give to them. My personal opinion.
Yeah. So, happy Father's Day to anyone who's listening.
I was going to say this will come out after, because my dad's is going to come out on Father's Day.
Okay, but still.
So happy belated Father's Day.
Well, right now it's early Father's Day because it's the day before. So happy early belated Father's Day.
We're going fishing.
Yeah, I'm taking him fishing for Father's Day. Isn't that nice?
It is nice.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice. Anyway, so yeah, have a good Father's Day.
Also, for anyone who is aware and knows us,
say hi to the fathers.
You know that our family is going through a lot right now.
A tough time.
So everyone, if you could just hold your babies a little closer.
Yeah.
For a little bit, we would really appreciate that.
And just be better.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah. Thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Brains and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Boo boo.
Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread.
Baby's first rave. Baby's first rave.